Choosing a muzzle device can be a challenge, especially for those who have never bought a muzzle device or even if they have just bought their first rifle. I'm Joe with Ultradyne USA, and in this video, I want to talk about one of these muzzle devices, muzzle brakes. I will cover exactly what they are and the benefits of having one on your rifle. Most importantly, I want to discuss the multiple brakes that Ultradyne offers and how to choose the right muzzle brake based on your needs. When you fire a bullet, hot gases are expanding rapidly, and that is what pushes the bullet out of the barrel. All of the force pushing the projectile forward is also what consequently creates recoil by pushing the firearm back at you, impacting your shoulder. When using a muzzle brake, it redirects those gases in a way that counteracts the recoil by using side ports to push gases out and backwards, propelling the firearm forward, therefore reducing the rearward force of the firearm, aka the recoil. You may have also heard the term muzzle rise or muzzle whip commonly used. This differs from recoil in the fact that it is the amount your muzzle jumps when shooting, causing you to lose your target and your optic. One feature of Ultradyne muzzle brakes is that we have top ports to minimize muzzle rise by pushing the barrel back down after firing. The result of this process is a rifle that is easier to shoot and stays on target to give you a faster and more consistent follow-up shot. So let's talk about the pros and cons of muzzle brakes. I've already mentioned some of the pros of recoil reduction, muzzle rise mitigation, and better overall control of your firearm. These all sound great. So what could be the downside of them? Well, with the redirection of the gas comes the redirection of sound and blast as well. With this, muzzle brakes are going to be loud and give off more acoustic signature compared to bare muzzle. That increase in noise and blowback may not be for everyone. This leads me into the main topic of this video, and that is how to choose the right muzzle brake by balancing these pros and cons. Not all brakes are created equally, and what works for a long-range precision shooter most likely won't be ideal for a smaller tactical setup or a hunting rifle. Because of this, there are four main factors that we like to consider when choosing a muzzle brake. First, finding the right balance of recoil reduction versus perceived blast. It is important to understand that the more effective that a brake gets in terms of recoil reduction, generally, the more noise and blowback you're going to get with it as well. So you need to ask yourself, am I going for the maximum amount of recoil reduction? If so, you'll want to go with a more aggressive muzzle brake. What I mean by aggressive is the angle in which the recoil ports are angled backwards away from the muzzle. The more angled the ports are, the more aggressive the brake is going to be. Our Apollo Max and our Apollo LR are the most aggressive brakes in our lineup, with their 4 angled side ports, and will reduce recoil better than any brake on the market. But some shooters prefer not having the blast directed at them. That is exactly why we created a whole lineup of brakes to fit everyone's needs, ranging in recoil reduction, perceived blast, and overall size. As we go down our line of different brakes, the port angle gets less and less aggressive, causing the recoil reduction to be less, but also the sound and perceived blasts are less as well, such as the Apollo S, that has an extra port, but these ports are actually 20 degrees less angled than those of the Apollo Max. Our Pulse only has 2 angled side ports, but they are 25 degrees less angled than the Apollo Max, and all the way down to our 90-degree brakes, such as our Pegasus and our Mercury. These brakes direct gas straight outward instead of angled to still give recoil reduction without giving off as much blast. We even have our Athena linear compensator, which would be best for someone who does not desire any recoil reduction at all and instead wants a muzzle device that sends the perceived blast downrange while reducing muzzle rise. The second factor to consider is determining how important muzzle rise mitigation is to your situation. If you're going to need to take fast follow-up shots as a 3-gun shooter or keep your target in the scope after impact as a long-range shooter or hunter, this is a major factor for you. To mitigate muzzle rise, muzzle brakes must have some sort of gas port on the top of the brake that allows gas to escape and pushes the muzzle back down, keeping the rifle as flat as possible during the recoil process. All our Ultradyne muzzle brakes utilize V-port technology. These ports vent gas upwards to keep the muzzle flat without getting in the shooter's line of sight. Where other brakes may direct gas upwards, we direct it up and at an angle to obtain effectiveness without sacrificing visibility. The third factor is the overall weight and size of the brake. If you're building a long-range precision rifle, you'll want a bulkier, heavier brake, such as our Apollo LR or our Apollo Max, compared to someone who is building a lightweight hunting rifle where you want a smaller brake, such as the Pulse or the Mercury. Finally, the thread compatibility between the brake and your rifle need to match. Most 5.56 barrels will be threaded in 1/2x28 threads, and most 6.5 and 30 caliber barrels will be threaded in 5/8x24. However, there are many odd cases where a barrel will have an uncommon thread, so always make sure to double check before purchasing. You can always reach out to your local gunsmith, or you can even reach out to us directly. In conclusion, choosing the right muzzle brake all depends on your personal answer to those main questions. If you want less recoil, better muzzle rise control, and faster follow-up shots, then a muzzle brake is perfect for you. And hopefully this video can help you make the decision on the best brake to fit your need. Let me know in the comments, do you run a muzzle brake? If so, which one, and what led to your decision in choosing it? If you like this content, please let us know, and don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. Thanks for watching this video, and we'll catch you on the next one.